Tonight, Rowley's parents went out to dinner, so they got him a babysitter. I don't know why Rowley can't just watch himself for a few hours, but believe me, I'm not complaining. Rowley's babysitter is Heather Hills, and she's the prettiest girl at Crossland High School. So whenever the Jeffersons go out, I always make sure to be up at Rowley's for story time. I went up to Rowley's at about 8 o'clock tonight. I even splashed on some of Rodrick's cologne to make sure I made a good impression on Heather. I knocked on the door and waited for Heather to answer, but I was caught a little off guard when Rowley's next-door neighbor Leland answered instead. I can't believe Rowley's parents switched babysitters from Heather to Leland. They should have at least checked with me before doing something stupid like that. Once I realized Heather wasn't there, I turned around to go back home. But Rowley asked me if I wanted to hang out and play Magic and Monsters with him and Leland. The only reason I said yes was because I thought it was some kind of video game. But then I found out that you play it with pencils and paper and these special dice, and that you're supposed to use your imagination or whatever. It actually turned out to be pretty fun. Mostly because in Magic and Monsters, you can do all sorts of stuff you could never do in real life. Like light Rowley's eyebrows with a torch. When I got home, I told Mom all about Magic and Monsters and how Leland was a really awesome dungeon keeper. Rodrick overheard me talking about Leland, and he said that Leland is the biggest nerd at his high school. But this is coming from a guy who spends his Saturday nights putting fake throw-up on people's cars in the Home Depot parking lot. So I think I'll just take Rodrick's opinion with a grain of salt. I've been going up to Leland's house every day after school to play Magic and Monsters. I was headed up there again today when Mom stopped me at the door. Mom has been acting real suspicious of this whole Magic and Monsters thing. And from the questions she's been asking me, I guess she must think Leland is teaching me and Rowley witchcraft or something. So today, Mom said she wanted to go with me to Leland's to watch us play. I begged Mom not to come, because first of all, I knew she would never approve of all the violence in the game. And second of all, I knew that having her in the room would totally ruin the whole experience for everyone. When I begged Mom not to join us, it made her even more suspicious. So now there was no changing her mind. I even splashed on some of Rodrick's cologne to make sure I made a good impression on Heather. 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 But I was caught a little off guard when Rowley's next-door neighbor Leland answered instead. But I was caught a little off guard. It actually turned out to be pretty fun. It actually turned out to be pretty fun. So I think I'll just take Rodrick's opinion with a grain of salt. Take Rodrick's opinion with a grain of salt. Take Rodrick's opinion with a grain of salt.